Hi guys. All right. Happy Wednesday. Let's talk about money. So, I first want to introduce myself. My name is Ashley Feldison. I am the founder of Team Elevate. I have been a coach. I cannot believe it. I've been a coach for 3 years, just over 3 years. And I started my journey as a full-time teacher, part-time grad student, and I was just pulling from my cup every single day. I was lost in a career that I thought my entire life I was going to love. And I got in it. I got into my first teaching job as a first grade teacher. And I looked around and I was like, wow, this is it. I had an hour-long commute to work. I live outside of Baltimore. I traveled outside of DC. I then traveled from DC to the north side of Baltimore where I went to grad school, and then I came home. And by the time I got home at night, I was just empty. My cup was empty. And then I refueled by going to sleep, and I woke up and did it over and over again. And so on the weekends, if my time wasn't spent grading papers or doing grad school homework, I was just finding anything short term, alcohol, really mostly alcohol, anything that I could just kind of relax with, right? And so that wasn't a healthy lifestyle. And because of that lifestyle of go, 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 and consistently eating and not taking care of myself, I found myself at my highest weight I had ever been at, 203 pounds, in January of 2015. And I remember laying in bed one night with my boyfriend Tyler, and I looked at him and I said, and I saw a post from one of my childhood friends, and it was a before and after photo. And I remember saying to him, she looks like me on the left and I want to look like her on the right. Like, I crave that. Not for body image, not for, the number on the scale, but for myself, for just to feel good about myself, to be a better teacher, to be a better student, just for that mental clarity, to finally put back into my cup that I had been dragging out of each day. And so I reached out to her. Her name was Caitlin Brownell, and because of that post on social media, she opened up her life to me and showed me what I was capable of. She was busy. She was making an income. She was working a full-time job, but at the end of the day, she was pouring into herself, and I was pulling from it, and I was never adding back to it. And that was the one thing that I needed. I needed something simple. I needed somebody to basically come to me and say, Ashley, here is a workout. Here is a meal plan. I'll be your cheerleader. Go. And that's exactly what I needed. So in the morning, I would wake up at 4:30. I would work out for 30 minutes. What's an extra 30 minutes anyway? Shower, get ready, go to work, and then go on by my day. And then at the end of each and every single day, I would know that I got to pour into myself before I poured into anybody else throughout that day. I got to pour into myself before I poured into my 6-year-old first graders. And so that was a really good feeling. And so as time went on, my passion grew for it. And she said, look, you're a teacher. You love changing lives. You love being a part of something. And I truly did. I loved being a part of something, and I kind of missed that. I was a cheerleader my entire life. I kind of missed that community feel. And so she said to me, why not find the other Ashes of the world and help them change their lives just like you have? Spread that passion like wildfire. And I said, you know what? Game on, let's do it. And so a lot of people might look at my situation as, wow, you were a full-time first grade teacher. You were going to grad school part-time to be a reading specialist. And I was living in my boyfriend's parents' basement. That might be an indication of, whoa, she needs nothing more on her plate. But for me, it's not that I needed more on my plate. I absolutely didn't. I needed an outlet. I needed something that I could control at the end of a chaotic day. And so that's what this opportunity did for me. In March of 2015, I signed my coach sign-up form, and in 13 months, I ended up matching my teaching income. So I made a big girl decision to not go back to teaching that next year. I did two years of teaching first grade, and then I decided not to return. And I'll tell you right now, I still teach every single day, but I just don't do it in a classroom. I get to teach from home. And maybe that's not your goal. Maybe you don't ever want to quit your job and you just want to use this as cushion. That's totally awesome as well. But whatever you want to do, I want you to understand that you can dream about it and you can do it. That's the biggest thing, is that if you have a vision, you can create it. You can chase after it. And so when I was teaching, I was living in this sheltered hut of just not being able to think bigger. I could have never imagined being able to afford my dream wedding. I could have never imagined being able to hit six figures by working from home, or buy my dream car, or now build my dream house. And so those are things I could have never even imagined, but this business came into my life and I got to dream a little bit bigger. I got to move out of that sheltered hut. I packed my bags and moved out, and I got to dream a little bit bigger about the things that I truly craved. And instead of craving them and doing nothing about them, I started craving them, and I started setting short-term goals to get me there. And so a part of this business that I absolutely loved was that I was in control of my income. So in 2015, when I signed up to be a coach, I was living in my boyfriend's parents' basement, and I really didn't have a choice. I couldn't afford a rent outside of DC. I was like smack dab in the middle of DC and Baltimore, where we were looking for rent, and I couldn't afford it at all on a teaching salary. I was stuck in that basement. And so my biggest thing was, I want to be able to afford a down payment on a house. I want to be able to just have that extra flow of income to just be able to afford a mortgage. Doesn't have to be anything extravagant. I was 22 at the time. Doesn't need to be anything extravagant, but I want to get out of my boyfriend's parents' house and afford something. So that was my goal. Now, if I would have just stared that in the mirror every single day, oh my God, down payment on a house, down payment on a house, down payment on a house, I would have never done it. But instead, I had to say, okay, in order for me to get that down payment on the house, first I have to be able to change one life. And then I have to change 2 lives. And then I have to change 3 lives, right? And so I had to start making my first $500. Then I had to make my first $1,000. Then my first $2,000. And so I want you to understand that the amount of money that you make in this business is directly related to the amount of lives that you change. And so however your life was changed is going to be very similar to how you change lives. So for me, my cup was empty. I needed something simple, and I needed support to do it, to help me with. And so that's the type of person I look for. I look for people who just need simple in their busy schedule, and they need that support. And so I look for the women who are craving that type of lifestyle, who want to pour into their cups even throughout their busy schedule. And so that's what I preach on social media. Now, when I say change a life, basically you're getting them started with Beachbody On Demand, which is their workouts, and getting them started on their nutrition. Now, so there's 3 different ways to earn in this company. First way is commission. And so when you change a life, when you help somebody start with a challenge pack is Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology. When you start them with that, you get commission for that. Now, if you just want to get your Shakeology paid for each month, all you need to do is change 1.5 lives. If you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can change 2 lives. Boom. You just got your Shakeology paid for yourself. And so that was my first goal. I was like, okay, my coach told me, she was like, hey, what's your first goal in this business? And I said, I just want to get my Shakeology paid for. She said, okay, change 2 lives this month. And I was like, okay. I ended up changing 5 lives my first month. I got my Shakeology paid for. I made enough money to pay for my Shakeology, and I made enough money to pay for my car payment. And so the next month came, and now the next way to earn is called Team Cycle Bonuses. And so the next month came, and some of those girls that I first changed their life in March, well, they wanted to be a part of it, just like I wanted to be a part of it. Just like when Caitlin signed me up, I fell in love with my journey so much that I wanted to turn around and share that passion. So in March, the girls that I signed up in March, they wanted to start this coaching journey with me. Well, then they turned around and started with me. And then I'm finding new lives to change, and I'm getting commission. And then I'm helping these coaches basically do the same thing. And then when you start duplicating that, when you start signing these coaches and getting them to be a part of this with you, and they find that passion and that grows, and then they turn around, they do the same thing. They find coaches of their own. And don't be afraid of it. You're going to get trained on all of that. You get trained from start to finish. We are your biggest cheerleaders through all of this. But then everybody below you who you sign up creates volume for you. And so this is where the majority of my income comes from. So now I'm sitting 3 years in this business. I make roughly $3,000 a week just from what my coaches are doing below me. And so that's not for me doing anything extravagant. That's from me just showing up to myself on social media every single day and never, ever losing trust with people. And so even when times get hard, my dad went to rehab last year. I picked up my entire life, moved it to New York, and then 6 months later picked it back up and moved it to Maryland again. And even through the chaos of life, I still controlled the things I could control. And that was my journey and my health and my business. And so I've never lost trust with people. And if you come into this business, when you come into this business, that needs to be your main goal. Don't lose trust. That is going to be the biggest component to be successful in this business, is for you to pour into yourself each and every single day, so much that they believe that you're going to pour into them each and every single day. Okay? So, second way is volume. When you get coaches of your own to duplicate, and they start changing lives, and then they find coaches to change lives, it brings you volume. And so you get an income, you get a paycheck based on the amount of volume points that you have from your team. So you have commission, you have volume, and then you have team cycle bonuses. Team cycle bonuses are basically based on your rank in the company. And so you have certain ranks in the company that Beachbody basically just tallies the entire volume for the quarter, and they give portions of the volume equivalent to cash to the certain benchmarks or the certain ranks in the company. And so that's something to look forward to down the line. That is one type of income, and it's really fun. It's something definitely to work for. I love it. It motivates me like crazy, but that's definitely soon down the line. But down the line, focus on commission and volume first. But I want you to know that it's 100% attainable. If you come in this, you pour into, if it's going to be very simple for you. It's going to be very simple for you if and only if you commit to it and you say, I'm going to be here in a year from now. I'm going to be here in 2 years from now. I'm going to be here in 3 years from now. And each and every single day, I'm going to pour into myself first so that I can pour into other people. And then that way you're going to change so many lives, including your own. I hope this video was helpful. Please ask any questions that you have below, and I will talk to you guys soon.